There was a video that I posted earlier this year, I believe like last month, and I basically spoke on the fact that, in these times, when it comes to the things that you're going through, when it comes to the things that's happened in your past, you're better off solely speaking to God, simply for the fact that there's loads of people around who will use your past against you. They'll use your past to judge you, to condemn you. They'll use it in a way to manipulate you or manipulate the situation into their favor, right? And though I still stand on that statement, one thing that I know from that as well is that whenever you're giving a testimony, whenever you're speaking your truth, whether it is to, help someone else to know that they can get out of that situation, to let the person know that they're not alone in their situation, not the only one that's going through it, or sometimes if you're confiding in someone who you believe that you can trust, right? Your testimony will always show you who truly loves you and expose who is not with you. Because you notice how when people see you for who they think you are, they will treat you one way. But the minute they know something about your past, you'll see the shift. You'll see how they switch up on you and how they change the way they talk to you, the way they communicate, like how frequently they communicate with you, you know, just their whole body language. Like basically, like you know how the person is around you and you'll see whether there's a change or not. If you're with someone or around someone and they treat you exactly the same, regardless of what they know about your past, that's not to say that they come into agreement or they condone some of the wrongs that you did. No. But they're not going to hold your past against you, because at the end of the day, this is not something that you did in present day. This is something that you did or was around several years back or however long that was, you know. Their heart doesn't change towards you. They still love you. They still care about you. They still treat you like a human being. They still have love and respect for you, and just like with anything, even if you did something in present day, obviously to providing what it is, of course there's exceptions to the rule. Um, Even if you do something wrong today, they're not just going to turn their back on you. Now, would they tell you the truth and say what you did was wrong? Yes. Would they pull you aside and be like, yeah, you can't be doing this? Yes. But if they're truly your friend, if they're truly your family member, if they're truly your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, or whatever relationship you guys have with one another, they will hold you accountable, but then they won't walk away or turn their back on you. They will speak to you and to some level counsel you, to do better, to get out of that situation, to open your mind to the bigger picture and see that how you're doing things isn't right and how it's potentially affecting people. That's what true people around you would do. That's just obviously a few examples. I'm pretty sure other people can say more or add to that. But someone who wasn't really with you, you know, when they hear something that you did in the past, not even something you did presently, you know, if that alone is enough for them to turn away from you, then that person wasn't really with you to begin with. That person didn't love you as much as they claim they did. That person didn't care for you or like you as much as they claim they did. Because guess what? There are people around me now in present day, and there's people who have been around me, and I know things about their past, or I knew things about their past. You know, though there were certain things they confided in me or that I heard about, I didn't necessarily agree with it. That's not something that I would condone anyone doing. It didn't change how I viewed them. And some of the things, these are things that they told me directly, and these are certain things that I heard about or I bear witness about at that time, but I didn't know the full context at that time as to what went on there. But my heart didn't change towards them. I didn't view them as any less. I saw their heart for what it was today, and still do see their heart for what it is today. You know, I know where they are today, and obviously from the things that they went through or the things that they did to other people in the past, they have clearly grown, right? And the same with other people who, they became an enemy or they got exposed as being an enemy. There's loads of things that I know about them. You know, people I've known things about them for like a good 20 plus years or so. I still treated them with love and respect for the time that me and them were friends or whatever relationship we had, right? Unfortunately, with those people, that wasn't reciprocated with me. When I confided in them about things, they used it against me. They spoke all manner of evil about me behind my back to other people. So unfortunately, in my case, it's extremely rare that it was reciprocated. I can count on like one hand alone the amount of people where, when roles were reversed, and I confided in them in something, they still respected me and had love for me. Most people, the minute they found out things about my past, they looked at me like I was a peasant or lower than a peasant. In fact, you know, they started that, like how they treated me completely changed. This went from romantic relationships with men, um, you know, and even friendships. The minute I disclosed things about my past, how they treated me completely changed, like a complete shift. And it was clear as day that they weren't really with me. They only loved me, they only cared about me from them viewing me from a particular standard. And bearing in mind, again, this is not things that I was doing in present day. These were things that I either done or something that happened to me several years back. You know, so them just simply knowing about something that happened long before they were even in the picture, or even they were around, it was so long ago. Through time passing by, it allowed so much room for growth that was completely dismissed, completely discredited. How I treated them as a friend, as a boyfriend, as this or that, got completely discarded just simply from the knowledge of my past. You know, I'm thankful to God today that I have 2 and 3 where I disclosed certain things about my past through testimony, and even things that I did within the last year that was wrong, and I shared those testimonies. They didn't turn their back on me. That's not to say that they didn't have their thoughts. It's not to say that they didn't have their opinions. It's not to say that they came into agreement with my wrongs, because I know for a fact they didn't come into agreement with that. I know for a fact they definitely had their opinions on that. That's not something that they agree with. That's not something that, if someone who was just reckless and evil, if they were moving like that, they would have no fellowship with that person. I'm fully aware of those things. But they still chose to love me. They still chose to care about me. They still chose to stand with me. And that's just like 2 or 3 people who I can honestly turn around and say that was. Everyone else is either they completely shifted and separate themselves from me, or they're pretending like they're still with me when they're not. And they're just doing that for show, you know? And, back to what I really said at the beginning of this video, do I still stand on the fact that, yes, in these times you're just better off just speaking to God and God alone about what you're going through or what you've been through? I do. Because you have people who will use that against you. But with that being said, though, sometimes you as an individual, whether you're a man or a woman, you need to say certain things about yourself, whether it's something that's happening in present day or something that's happened in the past, just to show you who loves you and to expose who truly isn't with